Week 6, day 1. Hard working is the quality this week. But on day 1, as we have for the last 5 weeks, we write our goals. We become purpose-driven. As with purpose-driven, commitment is the second part of that, whereas writing a goal and simply writing it is nothing but a dream. To write a goal and to have a plan with it, which is commitment, becomes a goal. Now, when you accept responsibility for that goal, it becomes that. I had a great message from a man in Arizona that was doing the curriculum and said he and his accountability partner had met for an hour and said they were curious about something in there about the goals, about the basketball goal relating to the goal. And I would explain, and of course, he explained it and he understood it, but the other gentleman didn't. But it is so good to hear from people that are doing the curriculum. And I promise you, if you will call me, 580-212-7752, or email me at coachingtochangelives@gmail.com, I will return that. It may take me a day or so because we get several. The quality of hard working is related directly to humility. Just as purpose-driven was related to commitment, and commitment is related to responsibility, so is hard working and humility. As long as you remain humble, you will be hard working. It's the minute that you think you don't have anything left to do. It's the minute that you believe that everything's okay. Now, a lot of people say that the opposite of hard working is lazy. I disagree with that. I don't think there's any such thing as lazy. I had a student one time that made 70 on every test. I mean, made 70 on everything that she did. I mean, everything she made was a 70. And when I would say, you know, you can do much better than that, she'd say, 70's passing, I can be eligible. 70 is a C, I can pass. And I tried to give her every speech I knew how to give to get her to do something better. And then we had a wonderful counselor, and he called her in one day, and all of a sudden, she's making straight A's. And I said, what's the difference? And she said, well, Mr. Floyd told me that in order to get into Texas A&M that I needed a 3-point so-and-so GPA. What changed? Was she lazy? No, she had no direction. She didn't have a purpose. And all of a sudden, she had always wanted to go to Texas A&M. Well, the counselor listened to her, and he told her, if you want to go to A&M, you're going to make straight A's. Oh, okay. Well, all of a sudden, she becomes a purpose-driven individual with a commitment to do something. And she's accepting responsibility for something higher than a 70 all the way into the 90s. Well, that's the same thing with every goal that you write. It's the same thing as being hardworking. The definition in here on page 40 of the curriculum, and you can find the curriculum at developingcharacter.org, and we're on page 40. It says hardworking is the quality of repeated, persistent laboring in order to achieve an objective. So you're going to write down 3 things that you're going to get done this week. That's your purpose-driven. Now, the commitment is you're going to write a plan to go with each one of these. You can't just write down, I want to play in the NFL. You're going to have to write down that I'm going to have to get to where I weigh X amount, I bench press X amount, I run a 40 in X time. You're going to have a plan to get to that point, no matter what it is. And it doesn't matter what the goal is. If it's going to be, I'm going to make the bed every morning. Well, it's a plan. In other words, you set a time. You say, I'm going to get up at 6:30. The first thing I'm going to do when I get out of bed is I'm going to do that. The quote that goes with hard working, Will Rogers said the only time success becomes before work is in the dictionary. So true. If you're not willing to work hard, then I promise you, you're never going to achieve these goals that you write down. And humility and hardworking obviously go hand in hand, but so does purpose-driven and so does commitment. All of these qualities become the same. And if you start looking back in history at all these people that were hardworking, you find that's a unique quality with each one. You won't find anybody that's one of those 300 most successful people that wasn't a hardworking individual. The Roosevelts, the Lincolns, the Kennedys, the Martin Luther Kings, there's no one that wasn't hardworking. And if you're going to achieve the goals that you set forward, you've got to develop this quality. Now remember, on page 40, every day this week, you're going to write down a plus or a minus on how you did in developing the quality of hard work. You become hardworking when you make it a purpose-driven. When you say, I'm going to become a hardworking individual. And when you do that, you give yourself a plus or you give yourself a minus. If you work hard, you do that. When we raised our children, our boy and our son and daughter, we had a point system, much like this right here. And they got X number of points for mowing the yard, for doing the dishes, for cleaning their room. Just about anything they got points for. And they had a minimum of points they had to get each week or they got into trouble. But they could make up to $100 a week if they got X amount of points. And so, and Saturday we always counted the points. So I promise you, on Friday they were cleaning, picking the garden, hoeing the weeds. They were doing everything they could to get it up to that point. Well, I think that's a great system, and it's almost the same as we are here. It's a plus or a minus. Give yourself a plus if you are hardworking, if you're developing this quality. See, to simply know this stuff is irrelevant. What you've got to do is be. You've got to take this that you're doing and you've got to put it into your life. You've got to make it a part of you. Hardworking. You have to develop that quality. How do you develop that quality? You get a plus or a minus each day. You think about it, you know it, but then you put it into practice. Become a hardworking individual. Make it a great day. See you tomorrow.